back to Breaking Takes, everyone.
Welcome back. It's been a minute.
It has. We've been taking a little break from the takes. We've both been going through some life updates. We'll get into that. I got married. Sam now works for the CIA in an underground bunker. But yeah, what's been going on with you, Sam? You look like you look like I could be killed just for talking to you if someone else hacked into this conversation. Like your top secret clearance right now, sitting in a room 60 stories underneath.
I'm mostly underground, as you can see from.
It's a fake window. It's a fake window. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a bunker. There's only green lighting because that or black lighting because I'm cooking meth and I'm hiding bodies and I'm storing cash and things are going great.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's an exciting life. And the green is not only useful for separating the meth materials under that intense light, but it's also a constant reminder of money and how that's why you're in the game.
Show me the money.
You're in the game for the cash.
Exactly. So I moved back to Baltimore in a turn of events, a wild turn of events. It actually wasn't that wild, but it kind of was. I split up with my partner, which I guess we didn't talk about. We knew off air last episode, but I don't think we discussed it. But yes, so I split up with my partner, 5 years. It was sad. Still is, but
she
doing
just wasn't
okay.
ready. She wasn't ready for the CIA secret agent lifestyle. No, you told her, look,
not.
I'm not going to be able to give you information. I'm going to be overseas or not. I can't tell you because I'd have to kill you if I specified.
Where am I
further.
Right now? Actually, like on the map. I said I moved back to Baltimore, but like, am I really there?
I mean, you could easily be in a Taliban safe house right now.
I could be
just
anywhere.
Interrogating terrorists. You could be. I feel like you could be in the deli across the street from me. Like this is just
probably.
Like like the back room when you get past like all the bead scans.
Yeah, when you got to go through that like thick plastic.
Yeah,
you're like moving it out of your way, going down the stairs, opening the hatch.
Yeah,
you got to crawl on your knees through a vent to get here.
Yeah, or you could be at like a Yemeni black ops site somewhere, just operating for a 3-letter agency. But your partner it's a lot of risk operating that lifestyle, and some people just aren't cut out to date people like that.
That's exactly right. No hard feelings. I get it. You got to be willing to take some risk and run from the law to be with me.
100%.
So, she just wasn't prepared for that. And now, I'm living the life. So I'm newly single and I feel newly single. I'm feeling horny as fuck. Just put that out there. As soon as you go through a breakup, it's like you've never been hornier in your life.
Yeah.
Because it's like losing the access. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're going, and it's like you're also going from the same thing. You get in a routine, you get to know each other's spots and positions, and all where the secret treasures are hidden, and then you're just on your own and your mind's like I'm unlimited right now. Like I'm going through like a Bradley Cooper sexual limitless awakening because now like all the spots are open. Where am I gonna go?
Yeah. But it's complicated, Zach, because it's like, now I can freely flirt and look and chat and open myself up to a world of opportunity. But also, like, it's just weird being, like, what do I do? I don't know. I don't do one-night stands. How does this happen? I don't get it.
The first thing I would do is you need your lesbian infinity stones, like some sort of just a strap on, just like a tool belt, but like just like ready to go at all times with attachments, strap-ons, vibrators, just like all those things. I would have those just like in the glove, ready to go. right or left, depending on
Yeah,
where
so
you
that's
are.
known. That's actually a thing in the lesbian world. Like lesbians will wear like a backpack. Like they'll go
Okay.
out and they'll have a backpack. Like if you see a girl like at the bar and she has a backpack, it's probably a lesbian.
She's either a lesbian or a terrorist. you
Yeah,
you guess.
exactly. Yeah.
She's
And
got
then you
something hidden
open
in
it,
there.
it could be a bomb or it could just be a bunch of dildos, and it's usually weed,
Yeah.
dildo,
Either way, it's
so
got
a hydro flask of water, very
yeah.
lesbian things.
Either way, it's got batteries that can explode.
Yeah,
So
that's true. There's lithium in there.
there are explosives in both of them. The terrorists and lesbians have a lot in common. Maybe there
Yeah.
should be like some overlap.
Yeah, it's true.
Some overlap support group. But that's hilarious to like imagine like a police officer following a lesbian home because they're just like a terrorist suspect, or like someone's like, yeah, this person was carrying a backpack on the subway, and there were a lot of like lights and vibrations coming from the backpack and beeping noises, and a police officer just following you home, and then he opens it, and it's just a gigantic strap-on, and the police officer has to decide where to go from there. But I mean, that's just the opportunities of single life, is that like you could get followed home by a hot police officer.
I hope
that's into that type of stuff.
I hope so. So we are really living opposite lives now. For a long time, we were living very similar lives. And now we're just polar opposites because you've been going through something very exciting.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Is
and
it?
it's also...
What's with the hesitation?
Well, so the hesitation is I don't want to cause heartbreak to many of our listeners.
I understand.
Because, I know that even though I'm a straight man, I do get a lot of looks from a lot of different communities, all different letters. And
because you're so sexy, Zach.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. A lot of people say they love like the pale reddish face look with the beard. And so what I'm about to say will, it might break the hearts of some of our listeners. It will shock you. Yeah. But I am.
Whoa, he's flashing it on the
married.
screen.
I'm infinitying stone my wedding ring because this, I mean, it'd be weird to say I'm going to collect them because I'd have to get divorced multiple 4 times. But,
you could do that, maybe.
This is the infinity stone of the marriage ring that I now have. I did get married at the courthouse, city hall style.
Beautiful.
And there's actually a lot of like unique, funny, like things that I didn't expect to be as funny getting married in City Hall. Cause
it's so fun. I mean, I have not gotten married in City Hall, but previously I got domestic partnered up, yeehaw, with my partner in New York. And so I went to the same, you go to the same exact building and pretty much do the same thing. I think it's just like less paperwork. And I don't say I do and like actually get married.
Yeah. So the first thing that happened is you walk in and you're only allowed to bring 2 people with you for each person. So I had 2 people there, my parents, and then my now wife had her brother, and then another one of my brothers. So I had 3, my parents there, a couple of my brothers, and my wife's brother. We were able to sneak in a little bit more people, so we had 6 total. We snuck in some of my group with another couple that just had a baby as a witness.
Yeah,
which
you're like,
I don't know how that works because my older brother was my witness and he had to sign the paper.
Right?
So
How'd the baby witness anything?
Because we asked
they
the
just
couple.
took a footprint, like they put like the stamp shit like they
Yeah.
do for baby. I don't even know. Everybody's mom has like a baby print.
Yeah, it's just a
of your
grizzled
foot.
old baby smoking a cigarette. Like, I got this. Where do I
Yeah.
sign?
I remember it clear as day.
Yeah. But yeah, so we asked the couple that had the baby and we said, can I sneak in my brothers with you guys? And they said, yeah, it's just us and the baby. So we snuck in and we go through security. So it's like TSA when you're going to get married at City Hall. You empty your pockets, you get wanded down, you go through the metal detector. It's a government building. and then you take a ticket when you get inside, and it looks like the DMV because
Yeah.
it's like the DMV of people who are all
People.
in the situation as you.
Yes, exactly.
They're all sitting there and this is the funny part because you get to see how other people determine is getting married important enough to dress up.
Yeah, when I was there were like, it was 50-50, but not everybody is there to get married though. So,
No, but there is a section where people wait by couches where it's a specific chapel waiting area.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there were
you
people
were in the
there.
chapel room. Okay.
Chapel room. Things getting heated up. There were people wearing very tight shirts. Like there was a guy, a bodybuilder type, that he was
bodybuilders
wearing
need love.
just like a shirt that was so tight and so just like it was full outline of the nipple visible, like pressed against the shirt, veins popping. And then standing next to that guy was another group of people. And one of them was wearing jeans with a fancy tuxedo white button down. So I was like, that's interesting. Like you're going like half hayride, half business casual.
Yeah.
Just like a whole bunch of different wedding outfits. We pulled the ticket and we got 69.
Amazing. That's perfect.
C69 was how we started our
very fitting because I know what you guys like to do regularly.
Yeah. And we tried in the chapel.
Yeah, I bet you did.
But they were like, this is a government building. Could you please do that in the 7-Eleven
here
across the street? Yeah. So we went into the chapel. We pulled the 69, waited in the chapel waiting area, went into the chapel, and we get called in. And officiating us is a tiny Asian ferocious woman who might be
sounds about
4'6". Maybe like with heels on. She might be 4'6".
Takes her job very seriously.
Very, very seriously. And it's like the courthouse doesn't know that COVID is over because there was like a double barrel glass, like 2 thick glass panes, and plus the lady was wearing a mask.
She doesn't want to associate with you plebs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, it was like getting transported back into a COVID time machine. Like when you went to a comedy club in 2021 where the comedian was just like talking through a window trying to get laughs. It was like this woman got behind the glass panes. And so we stood there holding each other's hand. I'm holding my future wife's hand. We're looking into each other's eyes. And typically this is when the officiant starts to speak. And so nothing happened. And then we both turn and look over at the lady. And as soon as we turn our heads a little bit, she goes, "No, stop. Look at each other. Look at each other like you're in love. Do not look at me." And we were like, okay. Because she wasn't saying anything. And then we looked back at each other. And then she started, saying the thing.
This is a performance for her, okay?
Exactly.
And she doesn't want you to mess it up. You need to play your part.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like there was a lot on the line for her. And, people were, watching her to see how strict she was for the ceremony. But we did the ceremony. After that, it was just like normal. 2 minutes. They book the chapel in units of 10 minutes. That's how quick this goes. So the ceremony, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. My immediate family was in there. Wife's brother's in there. We're hugging. And as we're like walking out, the next couple is walking in. And that's it. Like it's fun. It's quick. It kind of reminded me the whole getting married at the courthouse experience reminded me of being at a deli because you pull the number and an immigrant
and you look up at the screen.
Yeah, you look up at the screen to wait, see where you're gonna go. A person with an accent gives you what you want, and then you walk out with a new piece of meat that is your wife.
Wow.
And that's like the whole, the deli / city hall wedding experience. It was a fun time.
Yeah, and I saw the pictures that you posted on Instagram of you and Julie, and you guys looked so good. I want to slither in between you guys. I mean, I'm here for this married life.
I
I'm
mean,
here
there's
to
room.
just join
We
in.
we got king size bed.
Who
We have a
took?
king size bed in a Brooklyn apartment, which means that
Oh
we have
yeah.
4 inches of space on either
So
side of
we
the
don't
bed.
need any other space.
Yeah,
All the 69 goes on in the king size bed.
yeah.
Who took those pictures?
So I want to get her name right because
It was just
she
a person. Okay,
did
I
an
didn't know if
amazing
like
job.
Dave was just or your
No, no,
mom.
no.
Somebody was just like going off on the gram because they were
So
great photos.
so my brother did take some photos at the went for some dinner and drinks after. But if you go to the Instagram account where I have this, which is Auxoro, and you look at the wedding photos, it is at Portraits by Jenny, JENNY, at
It looked
Portraits by
so
Jenny.
good. Honestly, Zach, like it was iconic. These photos are iconic. Look at
She
you.
was
You guys
fantastic.
just got married in New York City in the courthouse. Like, and for the listeners, because you can't see what, but I encourage you to go to at Auxoro on Instagram. But these pictures are just so good. I mean, what a beautiful New York City wedding.
Yeah,
Because
it
you're
was a
just
good
like
time.
there on the streets. I mean, this picture right here, amazing. Like blow it up. It's this picture of Zach holding Julie's hand and they're walking across the street. And you need to literally, first of all, go off, Julie. Body, yaddy,
Yeah.
yaddy, 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 yaddy.
Mm,
You're blessed. You're a blessed man.
I am.
And you need to just print this picture and like put this in a frame. It's gorgeous. I love it. I'm so happy for you guys.
I think we'll probably put it above the bed
Yeah, on the ceiling.
on the ceiling because we want to showcase to possible threesome partners
Yeah.
how hot we are.
Uh-huh.
And when you're 69ing, if you're on bottom, not only will you be able to stare into the vagina slash butthole area, but if you look above, you will see the photos of us getting married at the courthouse, just
Yeah.
looking pristine, looking hot. And, you know, if we ever get out of that state where we're like, yeah, we're not hot anymore, we could at least have the photo above
Exactly.
to show our threesome partners like, hey, this is how we used to look. So if you don't like what you're looking at right now,
Envision
just
it.
look up. Just look up. Yeah.
You know, when we talk about 69, like, yeah, let's just break that down for a second because it's like the worst sexual position ever, in my
Ye-
opinion.
So what don't you like about it?
There's just like, I can't focus. I mean, what am I you can't multitask like that. Like, I feel as a girl, I don't know how guys feel, but like, I can't focus on trying to nut while I'm trying to make someone else nut. Like,
Yeah.
I'm running on two different speeds, you know? And then, God forbid, you're on top because I feel like the top position is not the best, like in a 69. You know, I'd rather be on the bottom. When
Yeah.
you're on
Well,
the top, you're literally face down. Like, face down. You've got your nose and everything, like, in an ass crack. Like, in.
Yeah.
It's just, you need air. It's not a good time.
Well, as a guy in a straight relationship, I would rather hang myself than be on top in a 69 because that like the image of that, like just me crushing me just
Yeah, I don't
just
think that would
crushing
work.
another girl, just like you can't even see her, she's like like gasping
She
for
can't
air.
breathe.
The only way it would work is if I'm doing it to like a girl that's bigger than me.
You're just teabagging her, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically a glorified teabag at that point, unless I'm doing it with a girl that's bigger than me or a UFC fighter that can like press me up as
Yeah.
I do it, so I'm not just totally suffocating her. But yeah, the 69, it's interesting because guys are, they're on bottom most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can't really be on the top because you could kill her. Like,
Well, I mean,
because
gay
what are you
guy's
supposed to?
69. So there's a top. There's a top
Yeah,
there.
but that's a little different. They're equals. They are.
Not
I.
I mean, what if
I
one
mean,
guy's
I
like
guess
300
not.
pounds and the other one's like 150? You got to decide who's on top, who's on bottom.
I mean, listen, to each their own. If some people like to get squashed, I feel
Yeah.
they like to feel
Oh
like a
yeah.
little bug.
Oh yeah. Just a little cum bug.
Yeah, just a little comeback. Squash me.
Yeah. But I'll say as a guy being on the bottom of a 69, you better be comfortable with smells because the way the angle is, you're going down, but the brown eye
You
is
got the booty
right
hole
there.
right there.
The bee hole's right there. The brown eye.
Don't open your eyes.
Your
You better
tongue's
not for
yeah.
long. You gotta like open them just so and then close them because you don't want to get pink eye or anything.
You have like a Lincoln Tunnel view of your partner's asshole. Like you're seeing deep into asshole traffic when you're going into 69 when you're the guy on bottom. So you better be familiar with the smells. Your nose, like your tongue is in the vag. Your nose is like almost a perfect button into the asshole.
Yeah.
The way that it's placed. So you need a a clean partner if that's what you're into. If you're not, then it doesn't matter. If you're like, I want to
No.
fucking smell all that shit. Give me dinner
Whoa.
from last night. That's
Oh my god,
that's up
terrible.
to you. But yeah, I like more of the sitting on the face in reverse. If we're gonna do a position like that, I'd rather she be facing me on top.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and just
ideal.
a classic sit on the face. That's what I prefer.
You can't go wrong. We need to cancel the 69. Okay, nobody
Yeah.
enjoys 69ing. I firmly believe this. It's
Yeah.
too much. You're overstimulated. I feel like I haven't 69'd in years. But the last time I tried it, it was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, am I running a marathon right now? Like, I can't focus on anything.
The
And I'm
60
upside down.
Yeah, that's true. All the blood's rushing to your head. The 69 is like the Times Square of sexual positions because everyone wants to see it, but once you're there for 2 minutes, you're like, all right, let's get out of here.
I've
I
had
got
enough.
the idea.
I can't even think straight anymore.
Yeah,
I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I've seen it all.
Maybe we'll do it again if we have some friends in town. But
Yeah, exactly.
other than that, we don't have to go back.
Well, what is that? That becomes beyond a 69. I mean, that's just an orgy, if there's friends involved.
Yeah, I guess what would you call that? Like a 6
infinity.
to the 9th power? Yeah.
An infinity, I don't know, an infinity orgy time.
Yeah, but I agree. The 69, it at the very least needs to be updated. Like you mentioned being upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a 69 being better if you were inverted, like if you were hanging from a ceiling and so you weren't crushing the other person.
A swing.
You were more like a bat.
I know what to get you as a wedding gift then, obviously.
100%. Like you're hanging upside down like a bat. And then another like one partner's face, their head is pointing the floor. And then another person's head is closer to the ceiling, but you're both suspended, like inverted.
Beautiful.
Exactly. So it's like a mid-air suspended 69.
Like trapeze, you know.
A circus 69. There you go.
Wow, I love that. We do need to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
I love to hear it.
Yeah. So speaking of sex and debauchery,
our favorite topics,
maybe even a little bit of drugs.
Oh,
the Saturday Night Live movie is coming out. I don't know if you saw any news about that. So
not at all.
There's a movie called Saturday Night that is coming out about I guess it was like the 90 minutes leading up to Saturday Night Live because it was such a shit show. And because the movie is coming out, there are a lot of articles being released about what actually happened on the set of Saturday Night Live. People that used to be on the show, cameramen, actors, writers, all coming out saying like this was true, this is how it was, this happened, this didn't happen. And so there was an article that I saw called Insider's Dish on how Saturday Night Live's first season was fueled by drugs and booze. quote, "Hi from New York." So Saturday Night Live, now in its 50th season, kicked off the broadcast with a blast of illicit behavior. The 17th floor offices at 30 Rock in Midtown were rife with drug use and casual sex among the cast
Wow.
and crew. Very nice. Pot smoked permeated the air. Dressing rooms were used for quickies, and at least one cast member, Garrett Morris, came to maintain a not so funny freebase cocaine addiction. Uh, I love how they're just like, yeah, it was pot smoke. Everyone just, carefree, coming out of the 60s lifestyle, just banging in the dressing room. There
Yeah.
was a guy who was giving us a little bit of concern who was freebasing cocaine and lighting the
Yeah.
dressing room on fire.
We thought that
But,
was a little bit too far.
yeah, that's a little bit too far. But other than that, it was just like free love.
Yeah. Peace
And
and love. Peace and love.
so, yeah, and then it says, fittingly, sketches often referenced recreational drugs, which I think is perfect because if you are on Saturday Night Live and everyone's doing drugs, you got people smoking weed, you got coke, you got, you got a bunch of props for, drug paraphernalia, just everything's going on in the studio. You should have sketches about doing drugs because you don't have to pay for props, because you could literally just go into one of the writers' rooms and be like, I'm going to take this crack pipe and we're going to write a sketch around it. That's a real crack pipe. It smells real. It feels real. I could take an actual hit of it during the sketch. Like it's perfect.
I think they did.
I'm sure they did before, during, and after. That's what it sounds like. The environment was there.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a blast. Saturday Night Live, I actually don't really watch because I'm old and I'm never up watching that. Yeah. What time does it even come on? It comes on at like 11 or some shit.
Comes on at 11, but there
Oh my gosh.
all the clips that I've seen of Saturday Night Live in the last 5 to 7 years
day
have been
after.
on YouTube,
Yeah.
TikTok.
Same.
So I haven't stayed up to watch an episode in a very long time. The last one I did was the one that Shane Gillis hosted. I stayed up to watch that. But yeah, it does sound like Saturday Night Live was it was like the way that drugs should have been done before everything came into effect with phones and things being filmed, and like you could come into a studio as a writer and actor and you could just do whatever you want. You could literally just be like, I'm gonna, I'm sitting here writing on my notepad, I'm just gonna do a couple bumps of blow, I'm gonna get sucked off under the table, and it's all part of my creative process. And phones don't exist yet. No one's, the only cameras are out on the set. No one had to worry about, what was going to happen, because everyone was just like, whatever needs to be done to do the show, we're going to do that.
Yeah, I'll probably go see this movie. Or is it coming to theaters or streaming?
It is in theaters.
Okay. Well, I like going to the movie theater, so I probably will see it because I'm just fascinated. I mean, it's a show that's been around forever now, and now it holds so much status for celebrities to be like either the musical performer of the night or be like the guest host. That's like, you've made it when you have been invited to Saturday Night Live as a celebrity. So it is really fascinating how, I don't know, I have no idea how it really, the origin of it. It's Lorne Michaels, right? Is that the guy, like the head guy?
He's the head of SNL, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and he's old now,
Yeah.
but rich as fuck.
Rich as fuck.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm curious about it all. So I would love to see this movie and see how it came about, and like maybe how different, I don't know, different or similar it is to like what it was when it first started to now.
I know this will never come out, but I'm curious about which celebrities you would never think would partake in the drugs or the orgies going on set. Which celebrity hosts would come to SNL and everyone thinks, oh, this guy's a geezer, he's a narc, he's never going to do anything. And he ends up just being, or she ends up just being like
the
totally just
best.
like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go around to all the rooms and whatever's going on there, kind of like the college drinking party where each room is its own country and you just like drink the alcohol from
Yeah.
whatever country, like that, but for drugs and orgies. I want to know what celebrity that you would never think. It was like, Betty White. Like Betty White came to
Oh, I'm
SNL
sure.
and she was
Betty had
just
a
like,
time.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get run through by every cast member I desire.
Yeah. Perhaps. I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
It sounds like a blast. It does sound, I wasn't even, when did it start? Does it tell you what year did SNL start?
Was 75,
Okay,
October 1975.
Correct. I was not alive.
No.
So it's
not
just
in this
kinda-
life, at least.
No, yeah, I could have done crack and died in the building, apparently, actually, and then been reborn.
Yeah, you could have been that black guy.
Yeah, I want to look up like SNL first episode. Okay, right around my birthday, October 11th. So maybe I did die.
Maybe maybe you died on your birthday in October 10th, 1975, partying too hard for the SNL premiere, and then you were reborn into your next life as a content creator.
Fascinating. So George Carlin, it was the first guest.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's a comedian. Is he dead? Yeah, he died.
He is, yes.
A while ago.
George Carlin has passed.
I hear his name. I follow a lot of comedians. I'm a big fan of Nikki Glazer. So it seems like George Carlin is like one of the best of all time. That's what I gather.
He's known as one of the best comedians of all time.
I should watch some of his stuff. I feel bad that I don't know anything that he's said or done or been in. I know nothing. I just know of his name.
I don't know either. I mean, I should look at more of his stuff because I do watch so much stand-up comedy, but a lot of the things coming out around that time, I more know just the name, like the Richard Pryor, George Carlin. I mean, Eddie Murphy had some things come out during the 80s that are, his Raw special. People still cite it today as one of the best specials of all time, and I have seen that. But I would be interested in seeing George Carlin for sure. He was on a show. George Carlin was on a show with Colin Quinn that used to air. I think it was on Comedy Central, where they would just talk about the news, and Colin Quinn was the host, and they just like throw to different comedians to talk about shit going on in the world. And George Carlin had one of the best appearances, I thought, on that show with Colin Quinn. I'm blanking out on the name of the show, but that one clip that I've seen of George Carlin, he was really funny and really insightful. So yeah, I bet he had a lot to say about 69s. So
no, I'm sure. I feel like SNL is really interesting, like the writing room of it all, and the fact that they get celebrities in there, and like sometimes these celebrities, like sometimes they could be really good just naturally, and then other times they can be like so bad, and they kind of just have to work with what they got and write around that capability. There was one story of Pete Davidson. Well, Pete Davidson told the story of when Donald Trump was the guest on SNL, and that like Pete said he's pretty convinced that Donald can't read, but not in the sense that he like can't read. It just like he can't literally read words, but more the sense of he doesn't understand grammar, and so he doesn't take proper pauses. So there was like one moment where he's reading something and he's supposed to be like, Ivana, pause, chicken legs, but he like just called his like daughter chicken legs instead because like he didn't pause because he doesn't understand grammar.
He's
so
like,
I'm
more
funny.
powerful than commas. Donald Trump has greater grammatical power than that of commas and other punctuation. I'm just going to slide those to the side for a little bit, and I'm going to take over.
Yeah, and I always dream. I feel like everyone kind of, like if you're a celebrity, you think about when you're going to get invited to SNL or if you ever become a celebrity, because
Yeah.
it's also like something I feel like you can't say no to.
No, I
Because
mean,
it's such an iconic thing that it's like when you get invited, it's scary because it's so big, but all the celebrities are like, I can't say no, like, because I have to do it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a cultural, just iconic appearance to have. Now it's not so much because there are so many channels, so many options to stream. No one really watches live TV anymore. But back in the day, it was like SNL was pulling in, I don't know, 40, 50, 70 million people to watch an
Damn.
episode. And you'd have celebrities, actors, comedians, writers, performers. Like, if you hosted SNL that week, that was all that people talked about, which is why I think it's so fascinating. Like some of the stuff that these people were saying in the article, there's another guy that was saying they used to smoke weed on the bandstand during the show. A former SNL staffer told the Post, adding that some of the musicians indulged in alcohol as well. Then they got a memo from the show creator, Lorne Michaels, one day. It said, from now on, there will be no drinking on the bandstand. It sets a
Damn.
bad precedent for union stagehands. Instead, stick with the drugs. So Lorne Michaels was
Stick with
literally,
stuff we can't see,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, stick with things that could fit cleanly into your pocket. Lorne Michaels was like, look,
Exactly.
guys, drinking sets a bad example. Stick to freebasing cocaine. That is
Exactly.
something you take a quick hit, you stash it back.
He
As
just
long
doesn't
as
want to see it.
yeah, as long as you don't burn down the set while you're separating the coke on the spoon or in that glass bulb on the pipe, whatever you do it in, I'm not a freebasing professional, as you can tell. I'm just waving
No,
my
me
hand a little,
neither.
like you wouldn't do the flame like this. You would hold it in place so it could actually
Yeah.
heat up the cocaine.
Inexperienced.
Yeah, I clearly didn't, make it to SNL in a past life, or else I would be
Yeah, you would know that.
a much better freebaser. But yeah, I was just thinking like everything, like things were much more wild back in the day. You had parties out in the open. You had people going to clubs. They're doing coke out in the open, like chopping up lines. People were, banging in coat rooms, like all this stuff. Like we were saying before the cell phones, before things were filmed, before, like fucking, Johnny Depp could go out to a club and like do whatever and he wouldn't get photographed, or George Carlin. I think that if things were more out in the open, like back in the day with the start of SNL, yes, parties would be wild as shit. And like occasionally things would happen, like people die, overdoses, things like that. But I think if things were more out in the open, Diddy would have gotten caught sooner. Like we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It would be hard. Like it would be impossible for Diddy to exist in an
Yeah.
environment where you
That's
didn't
right,
have to
Zach.
have you. If you have to have orgies behind closed
Yeah.
doors, people can do weird
Mm-hmm.
shit. You go on meth freak off benders for three
Oh my
days
God.
straight, and the door is locked.
Not the
And
freak
people,
offs.
yeah, and people are like, we haven't seen Diddy in 72 hours, and also all the coke is missing and the lube. Do you know what's going on? And everyone's like, no, I have no idea. Like, no one goes in that room, so anything could happen. But like,
Yeah.
if you just had like the old school style Hollywood parties, as soon as Diddy, brought out the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and like put on his fucking Joker costume and he's just like joking off in a throne above everyone else trying to like choreograph his own orgy.
Yeah.
People immediately would have been like, yeah, I think something's wrong with Diddy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in this for the sex. I think there's something else going on there.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy to me, speaking of Diddy and the baby oil? My favorite part about this whole thing is that his lawyer's like, yeah, he's rich. He buys baby oil like in bulk because he's got like a massive house and he gets like deliveries. But then Costco was like, we don't even carry baby oil.
Yeah.
I love that Costco came in with like, no, we don't even carry that. Like
Yeah.
you got a Cisco delivery
Yeah.
to your address full of baby oil. Don't
Yeah.
bring our name into this.
Yeah.
Costco wants nothing to do with Diddy and this scandal.
I mean, the person who ran the Costco Twitter that day was like, finally, like,
Get my
interesting
name
thing.
out your
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah. I'm gonna discredit this this Diddy allegation on the
Yeah.
Costco. Like that, the person who ran that Twitter was just like, slowly dying inside.
Yeah.
Costco tweets, new hot dog packages are gonna be late this week. Sorry,
Yeah.
for the interruption. The gallon of water exploded in aisle 7 in the New Jersey location. We're sorry for anyone who may have. And then all of a sudden, like the Diddy files just start coming out, and Costco gets mentioned, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go down the fucking baby oil rabbit hole." Discredit this motherfucker. He was like smacking his Costco badge. He's like, "This is what Costco won't stand for this shit."
Know is my inventory, okay? And we have not had baby oil at Costco since its origin. So don't play with me. That inventory manager knew what was up.
He's like, yeah, Diddy claimed that he started buying baby oil in bulk from Costco in December 1999, but we haven't stocked it since October 13th, 1997. So who's the liar now, Diddy? Who's the liar now?
This is going to be in court, like the random Costco inventory manager. That's like, we don't ever buy baby oil. Also, what the fuck is baby oil for? Like, I don't even think babies use baby oil.
No, I mean, the name baby oil is like Pedialyte in the sense that it's like it's sold as a baby product, but babies don't actually drink it. It's for adults doing, adult shit.
Yeah, they basically just say it's like baby oil can help to moisturize, plump, and smoothen skin by locking in moisture. And some people use it like after you shave. So I think maybe that's the only time I've ever seen baby oil like that. Yeah, maybe some men use it like after they shave their face to just like, I guess, smoothen the skin and stuff. But
I feel like that would be more moisturizer. I don't know any guys who use baby oil.
Okay, I'm not a guy.
Yeah. I mean,
no fucking clue.
Baby oil doesn't moisture. It just makes everything impossible to grab. Yeah.
It's like a fish. You turn into a fucking fish. You put your baby in that, you're going to drop your baby, surely.
Yeah. Your baby becomes a slippery hockey puck at that point. I mean, the only people who use baby oil are people who plan orgies and adult wrestling leagues that turn into orgies.
Exactly. That's it. I've never seen baby oil and a baby in the same room. I just haven't.
No. And, thank God, because so far no babies have come out in the Diddy scandal.
Whoa, yeah. Yes.
Just baby oil.
Really hope not. It's bad, and my mom was asking me about it yesterday, but I'll be honest, like I didn't bring that story to the pod because it's like so big. Like I actually don't have like all the details. He got hit with like over 100 accusations and charges or something like that. I don't know. It's insane.
It's wild. The 120 people just came out. 120 more people. There's the original Cassie lawsuit and a bunch of those allegations. He actually got arrested. So we're talking about the wedding photos and how me and my wife got such good wedding photos the day we went to the courthouse. And part of the reason was because Diddy got arrested that day. So
I knew he was in New York.
Yeah.
And there were some videos of him being at like Central Park or just being around New York. Why? Like, why was he in New York?
I don't know why he was in New York. He might have gotten
planning
tipped
to
off.
turn himself in, but then. So I heard and saw the video of him getting. Sorry to interrupt you. We will get back to your
you're good.
Pictures, but I heard that and saw the video on TMZ that because when he got arrested, it was very clear in the video that people were like surprised. So then in the TMZ article, it was like they think he was surprised because he was intending to turn himself in anyways, and kind of try and schmooze it like a celebrity. Like not let this all go chaotic and hit the press. Like let me have control essentially, and like let me go turn myself in and act like I got all this under control and I just want to sweep it under the rug. and I don't know why, but yeah, the police ended up surprising him and arresting him like the day before. So
Yeah.
I guess the day you got married.
Yeah, exactly that. And I was gonna say so part of the reason why we were able to get such good photos, and we were on the courthouse steps and the streets, and a lot of things were empty around our courthouse, was because everyone was at the other courthouse,
At the Diddy courthouse,
waiting for Diddy to show up,
yeah,
or make an
that's
appearance,
amazing.
or wait for his lawyer. So outside of the city hall courthouse where people get married, it was an absolute ghost town.
That's
so
amazing.
Like the photographer was telling us before, like we might not be able to get good photos on the steps because other people will be in the background. Or
Diddy was like, "Don't worry, guys.
Yeah. So
I'll gift you some baby oil. I got this."
In a weird way, I'm grateful to Diddy because he got arrested on the day that we got married, and the streets were clear for some great photos. So
yeah,
it
worked out.
It sounds like he's he's been doing some sketchy, despicable stuff, but in terms of how it's been playing out, good for wedding photos. So
yeah, it worked for you. So
yeah, it worked out.
Honestly, then that's great. I'm looking up. It's starting with optimism already. Your wedding photos were great, and it's not going well for Diddy, which I hope means it goes well for all of the victims and everybody that was like harmed or abused or drugged and violated or whatever, traumatized by this man.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say to wrap up the SNL story, going back to the orgies back in the day where yes, things were wild, yes, things were out in the open, drugs, sex, all that stuff. I am for the presidential candidate who will restore ethical orgies, because orgies need to come out.
I think Kamala's ready.
Orgies need to come out from behind closed doors, and we need to bring them back into not public spaces but open private spaces where you could, book a club and just have a sex party, and people are like, all right, I'm gonna go back to being a financial advisor after that, and no one would take photos, no one would take pictures. Your life wouldn't be ruined for getting in an orgy.
It's just every day. It's just a normal day.
The taboo of orgies and sex has driven all of that behind closed doors, and then sickos like Diddy can take over and be like, don't worry, I got it, baby oil on check. We got the cameras recording secretly from all the rooms.
Yeah.
We've got the prostitutes flying in. We've got things going on that probably shouldn't be happening. And
we're here to bring it to the light.
We need to shine some light on the orgy game. And so I hope whoever comes to lead this country in 2025 knows that the truth behind solving the American crisis lies in shining a light on orgies.
You're kind of right. So I've thought about this before. Like pedophiles and stuff. I just have a theory that because it's so fucked up, right? It's so gross and wrong for adults to be sexually attracted to children. However, I don't think the adult is at fault for they're at fault when they act on those feelings. That's wrong. But we're all mentally ill in different ways. And if it was maybe more normalized this is a hot take, so I don't know. But if it was maybe more normalized to say, I'm attracted to children, to be able to go to your doctor and be like, I'm attracted to children. I need help.
Yeah.
Maybe there wouldn't be so much fucked up shit like this. With men, it's not always men, because these days it's a lot of female teachers.
A lot of teachers.
Yeah.
A lot of teachers getting in on it.
It's a lot. So it's definitely not all men at all. But maybe it wouldn't happen as often and be behind closed doors. If people could without shame be but I guess there'll always be shame around it, because there's shame around being an addict to anything or whatever. But it's just maybe there's something there with like if they could just go and talk about it or go to a help group or go to like something and just be like, yeah, I'm attracted to kids and I know that that's wrong and there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
How do I fix it?
Yeah, like a person that's willingly coming forward and saying like, I need help or else something bad is going to happen. I don't think that person should be punished if they're not performing the actions that go along with the things
disturbing.
that come with that
Nonetheless.
disorder.
But you're not like a criminal at that point, you know?
There's a joke by Louis C.K. and I'm not going to try to retell the joke because I would just butcher it, but the premise of it is that if people really cared about stopping pedophiles and stopping children from being abused, because that's ultimately why pedophilia is so bad, because the victims that are children, we would have child sex dolls. Because if a pedophile was like, oh, I could just take my I don't know, like my desires out on a child sex doll, and an actual child would be spared, then both are disturbing, but one is less disturbing than the alternative. And obviously Louis C.K. says it way more funny than I am, but he's like, people like there's so much like song and dance around issues and not as much around the actual solutions. Like, no, who's offered a solution for the 69 problems we're talking about? We're talking about solutions, suspending people.
We're solution-oriented individuals.
We're solution. Get us on the nation's biggest problems, and we'll solve them here on Breaking Takes. That's what I'm trying to say. We're already solved one with bringing orgies out into the open. Stop tabooing orgies. Let these sick people act out their fantasies in front of everyone else, so that we can stop them sooner. Because that's how Diddy got away with it. So I'm here to open the door to orgies in 2024. Open the door in 2024.
The door
be
never
a public
closed
whore.
in my world.
Yes. Same with me. That's why we go so well together.
Yeah, exactly. We're shameless. No. But speaking of actually SNL and weddings, I wasn't aligning SNL with my story originally, but it does bring up a good point. So another super hottie got married recently.
Okay.
Miss Lana Del Rey.
Oh, yeah.
Is a married woman. I've had a crush on Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey was a part of my lesbian awakening when I was like a senior in high school. When I heard video games and Born to Die, my life changed.
She's a lesbian icon. Like, is she like a well-known?
I don't know. She's just like mom. Like, she's just so hot. Like, I love her.
She was on your lesbian vision board.
Yes, like not in like my actual mom way, in like the gay like mother term. So yes, she's just super hot. I think men and women find her hot alike. I think that's just she's general.
Extremely attractive.
And then you hear her sing and you're like, it's the voice of an angel. And I have seen her in concert. Probably creamed my pants. Like she was.
Let's back up there. You know, there's no probably in that situation. You either did or you didn't. So
I mean, I'm just saying,
which one was it?
It might have happened. Like my pants may have been damp. Like
there's a lot of moisture going on in the crowd. There's people spilling drinks.
Yes.
There's panty cream. So in that I could see how the cream lines could be blurred a little bit. Okay.
Exactly, but it's a likely story that happened. So yeah, I saw her. She sounded great, but so Lana. Also, the reason I bring up SNL is because her original performance on SNL was super iconic. I don't know if you ever saw her musical performance on SNL. This was way back.
Maybe a
2014 or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen it recently, no.
It gets roasted so much because she was really nervous, and anybody that kind of follows Lana Del Rey knows that she kind of always said, like, she's not a performer, she's a singer. If you listen to her music, you really get that. Like, she's somebody that can just sit and sing, and it's like the most beautiful thing ever. She's not there Britney Spearsing, doing break dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So her SNL performance is just her holding a microphone and like twirling around.
That's
And
amazing.
people roasted it really hard. So I encourage everybody to go watch it and be nice to Lana Del Rey. But also, it is really funny.
I mean, I
So
feel that. I just want to say I feel
yeah.
like you know, the mic is there, and then you're in front of a crowd of people. All the numbness and tingling starts
Yeah.
running through your body, and the only thing you have to hang on to is a mic. So you're just clutching it so
Yes.
tight, but also you have to sing, and you can't stop the
And
performance.
she
So you're
looked
just like,
so glammed up too. She
yeah.
looked like an Oscar award, like the trophy. And you know
Mm.
how it's just like very vertical.
She was made
That
of
was
gold.
Lana Del Rey.
She
Yeah.
was a statue of pure gold.
Yes, in my eyes, always.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so she is 39 years old now, and she's still so hot. So God bless.
Yeah, she's got one more
She's
year.
gone on a lot of journeys. Like through the last 10 years, she's dated musicians, a cop, then she dated a felon. And
Both sides of the
now,
spectrum.
yeah, she's all over the place. And
Mm.
that's what I love about her is because she's never, well, she did briefly date G-Eazy, really briefly. And I
I
think
remember
that
that.
might be the only celeb that she's ever been with.
Mm.
She kind of really likes to date normal people, which also adds to the appeal of Lana Del Rey because she
Yeah.
just is so obtainable. It's like this is just your average hot trailer park girl.
Yeah. Like if I was single and I went out to a bar and Lana
Yeah,
Del Rey was there, it's not out of the
you could
question
bag her.
where you could
Yes.
be like, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna buy
Yes.
Lana Del Rey a drink, and then 2 weeks from now I'll be dating Lana Del Rey.
Yes.
That
It's
was a
beautiful.
reality.
Yes. So this is basically what has happened in her life. So she is a married woman now. What do you think the profession of this man? So, as I said, she's dated a musician, she's dated a cop, a felon. What do you think the next career choice of a man that she's with would be?
So now that you're saying this, I do have an idea because I've seen photos recently of her with a guy.
Yeah.
And
What does this guy look like to you? Like, what did he look like?
he looks like he has a beard. He
Yeah.
has a very worn face, like a working man's face.
Yes, yes.
Hard
and I say
labor.
this with love. Like, he's
Yeah.
not, he looks like an average guy, like an
looks-
average middle aged dude.
He looks like a guy who's been working with his hands since he was 3 years old.
Yes,
And
yes.
Boots, jeans.
And his skin is so sun kissed. Like you can tell he's worked in the sun like
Yeah.
every day for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah, because it's a good. I imagine it's a good dichotomy to Lana Del Rey's buttery skin. Like I just
Yes.
assume that if you touch her skin, it just feels like you're
So
combing
soft.
a jar of butter. Yeah. And this guy, on the other hand, from
It's all
what I
calloused
remember,
up.
yeah, like a leathery, yeah, like a leathery bag, but like not. I'm not dissing this guy. It's like your grandfather gives you his leather bag. And it's
Yeah.
old, obviously, but there's meaning behind it. There's stories behind it.
It's a good man, Savannah.
There's a story behind his leather face. That
Yes.
there's a story behind those eyes. And I just remember he
Yeah.
also had like kind of piercing eyes to go along with his tan
Yeah.
face.
Yes. So he's just like your average guy, except not because he's an alligator hunter, which
That's right.
is insane. How does Lana Del Rey end up marrying an alligator hunter?
That is pretty crazy. That is. I mean, you do have to go out on a date if you match with a guy on Hinge and his bio
Fuck
says,
yeah.
"I hunt alligators." I don't
You got to
care.
learn more.
I don't care what else that bio said. Like if I match with a girl that said, yeah, I'm a reptile hunter, I'd be like, I'm gonna go at least once. Like I might die on this date.
Just to hear the stories.
I might get bit by a cobra. I might
Yeah.
get swallowed by a crocodile. But like, it's intriguing enough to
Yes.
latch you in. So it's not weird that she went out on one date with this guy, but it is pretty crazy and honestly pretty inspiring that
It really
this
is.
guy was able to reel in Lana
Yes.
Del Rey as just like a working man's reptile
Yes.
hunter.
That's literally why I wanted to talk about it because I mean, obviously she's my favorite bad girl, sad girl, but it's like so beautiful to believe that you know what? Whatever celebrity you're dreaming of, it could happen. It could happen to
Yeah.
you. So they actually met in 2019 when
Mm.
Lana and her siblings went on like an alligator tour. So he hosts tours. Like, you know, when you get on that, you go out on the bayou and you get on that fucking weird ass boat that with a
Swamp boat.
giant fan in the back that just like propels you down the bayou.
Yeah.
I actually dream of going on one of those. Because they scare me. Like, what type of boat is that?
So I've actually been on those boats a couple
Okay.
times. My older brother moved down to Florida a few years ago, and we did go on a
Swamp boat. Okay, an
we went on a
airboat.
swamp boat, an airboat. Yeah,
That's what it's called.
and it's crazy because unlike the rest of the human population that is constantly trying to stay away from monsters, the captain of that boat is like,
Yeah, they
no,
love 'em.
we're going to the monsters.
We're going.
If anyone
swamping.
sees one, point them out so we could go right up to them. To
Yes.
the point where it's like, this could easily bite my hand off.
Yes.
If I was just leaning against the rail, but you're going right up to these huge crocodiles, and
Yeah.
you know it's an adrenaline rush.
No, exactly. So that is exactly what her new man's does. So his name is Jeremy Dufresne. He's 49, so 10 years older as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's
Fuck yeah,
always
Jeremy.
had kind of like a daddy issue complex, you know? So it's not a surprise. And I mean, and what's it even matter? She's like 40, he's 50, you know, same
Yeah.
shit pretty much. She looks pretty good, honestly, for being 50 and being a guy that's definitely been out on the fucking bayou every day of his life,
Oh yeah.
wrestling gators.
If I mean, you know, he has some sexy ass scars on that body. Like
Yeah.
the first time he got naked in front of Lana, he just had like some fucking deep scratch all the way down his ribs, and Lana was like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And Jeremy
He
was
must
like,
just be
"That was a
fun.
gator 2011 back in the day. I jumped on top
Yeah.
of it. It almost ate a little boy on the trip, but I wrangled it, and its tooth got snaggled right in my ribs. I
Yeah.
had to choke that alligator unconscious, rear naked choke, and I set him back
Yeah.
in the swamp, and he swam off, and now we respect the hell out of each other. That's my favorite gator
That
right there.
does sound like I've watched that on Animal Planet, actually.
It was probably him.
So yes, she went on a alligator tour ahead of a show that she was about to have in Alabama. So that's when they met. So it's been quite a while. She's dated people since. I guess that they stayed in contact and then started to date again and are now married. And so all the dreams in the world can come true. You can be a random backwoods hillbilly that wrestles gators and still date and marry one of the hottest women out there.
Yeah. I hope that she incorporates some of the gators on stage in future shows. Like she just walks a gator out
I would love that.
to the microphone. She doesn't have security. She's just got double-fisted gators just out on the stage. Like someone
yeah.
rush the fucking stage. I dare you, rush the goddamn stage.
Yeah.
You know, you got gator dancers in the background.
Yes.
You know, if someone's getting too rowdy in the crowd, you throw a gator out there. You, have
You know,
them
she should
settle it.
start. Well, are gators like. Okay, I don't really know my gator facts, to be honest. I know that in the Everglades, a lot of places are starting to like. A lot of restaurants in Florida are starting to like literally prepare like python as a meal.
Yeah.
Because they're like super overpopulated. They're horrifying. And
Yeah, it's
they need to
considered an
die.
infestation.
I
Yeah.
don't know if gators are in that.
I don't know if they've gotten to the level of pythons, but I have heard that there are types of crocodiles. So not alligators, obviously, but like Nile crocodiles are now in Florida because people buy them illegally and then they get too big and they're just like, here you go. They just throw them over their fence,
Yeah.
which is kind of what happened with pythons. People get pythons and they're idiots and they don't realize how fucking big they get. And they're living in
Yeah.
a studio apartment. They're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck am I going to do with a python in a studio apartment? And they just release it into the suburbs. And now there's just pythons breeding all over Florida. So I don't know if it's as bad as
I
the
don't think so.
pythons.
So I just Googled, is it ethical to kill gators? And it says under Florida law, granted, Jeremy does not live in Florida. So this is, I have
yeah.
a feeling Louisiana is a little bit different.
He's above the law anyway. He's got
Yeah, well,
lawless
and he's
status.
just going on tours, though. He's not killing gators. The reason I brought this up, just to finish my sentence, so, like, yeah, in Florida, it's illegal to kill gators or capture them, any of the crocodilian creatures. So don't go doing that, people. But the reason I brought this up was because I was like, what if she starts doing like gator merch? You know, like she's got like a gator purse bag and like gator boots. Like I feel like the Lana Del Rey stands are gonna start showing up in like gator.
Yeah, I hope they do. That, you know, that would be a.
But
good
I don't
use.
want gators to be getting killed and turned into like leather if that's not ethical.
Well,
we need to ask her husband. I would like to have a serious conversation with him.
I was going to say, that's why we need to have.
You should get him on your podcast, your other podcast.
That's why we need to have Jeremy Dufresne on the podcast.
Yeah, I want to know.
Have him on Breaking Takes and just be like, hey, what are the ethics behind killing gators? If a gator is, you know, I see a gator while I'm waiting for the subway in New York City. Can I wrestle that gator?
Yeah, you can. If it's in New York,
fight it to the death.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you absolutely can.
Yeah, the lighting right now in this room looks like you have gators currently
at the swamp.
in your room. Yeah, like you have like a python in the fucking carpet behind you, and you have gators just crawling around that house. That's like the type of lighting this looks like.
I believe it. Yeah, it is like that when you go to some like ghetto reptile zoo. And you go in and it smells like, I feel like that's a special experience when I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Like when you go to, not like a real zoo. Like we're not talking about the Bronx Zoo, the DC Zoo, none of that. When you go to kind of like a small venue, like a petting zoo, and then there's like a reptile section. When you go in, you can always like smell. There's like a specific smell that a reptile room has.
Yeah, it's very musty.
Yeah,
but I imagine it's what dinosaur poop would smell like. Like one dinosaur poo would smell like an entire just reptile pavilion. We're like smelling the past. You're sticking your nose into the crustaceous period or whatever.
Yeah.
Jurassic period.
I'm grateful that the room I'm in does not smell like that. But I don't even remember if we mentioned it. So I'm in my dad's basement and there's no good lighting because it's like an old school farmhouse. And
we should also say willingly, because saying I'm in my dad's basement makes it sound like you've been trying to get out for weeks.
I'm not locked in.
There's a padlock
I'm here
on the
willingly.
Yeah.
I am here on my own accord. And this is my setup and I really need to get new lighting, but it's just not on my list of priorities. So I just have this fluorescent green light that is somehow better than the fluorescent white light that would be above me.
Yeah. And we did say, you know, it does look like you're running a meth lab, and something that goes
and
along
I am.
with, and you are. And because you're running a meth lab,
actually am not FBI agent. I just realized that like I don't need the FBI to like show up, you know.
No, yeah. So everything
totally
we just said, despite everything we just said on this podcast, Sam is not running a meth lab. But if she was, wink, wink,
it would be here.
It would be in this basement. It would be where the light is shining, a green fluorescent bulb.
Yes.
But something that people who run meth labs, who are not Sam, because of course she's not running one, people who do that something they inevitably do is they always buy reptiles, or they just find them, or they steal them. I feel like if you walk into a meth lab, you see you see a baby gator in one corner. There's like a snake pit in the other
Ew,
corner, and
that's crazy.
there's like 4 meth heads over all the equipment that are just surrounded by a gala of reptilian companions.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of give the world that update that like Lana Del Rey's off the market. She's with an alligator hunter tour guide. He's a
yeah.
regular looking dude. You can go and look up videos of him like on his alligator tours. There's videos of him like, doing the thing. They always do that thing where they're like tapping the gators like on the snoot, and getting
Mm.
them like giving them kisses on the snoot. It's so weird. It's
Called a
scary.
Reptile 69. With Jeremy Dufresne's doing the
Yeah.
Reptile 69.
Yeah.
Literally life or death. You either come or you die. But
Beautiful.
something that what you said made me think about the Diddy situation with Lana Del Rey and Jeremy Dufresne. Lana Del Rey, I feel like marrying someone who's an average Joe, a normal guy, someone who's not living a celebrity life, sort of keeps you out of the Diddy sphere
Yeah,
of possibility.
you're not catching
with
Lana
like
Del
wild
Rey
shit.
at a
'Cause,
freak
like,
off.
could you imagine if Lana Del Rey went to a party and she came home and she told her alligator hunter husband, like, I was just at Diddy's house and I saw 300 bottles of baby oil there? He'd be like, yeah, that's weird as shit.
Yeah.
Definitely don't go back. That
Yeah.
is not something normal people do.
No.
Whereas I feel like if you're dating, like a sitcom actress
You get
or
lost
some
in it.
model, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, baby oil orgies, like it's just Hollywood, it's just LA, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we did. And you're like,
Yeah.
you trick yourself into thinking like, oh yeah, that's not that weird.
Yes,
Like,
we need
people-
more celebrities dating normal people
Yeah.
so they can stay normal and not be doing weird shit like that.
Yeah, it's armor for the weird shit to just have someone like that in your life.
Yes.
And yeah, so we were talking about adding a segment at the end of the show to see how it goes, and we want to do a thing where we both talk about pet peeves. Something each week. We could bring something that happened or an experience, whatever it is, that pisses us
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And we don't have a name for the segment yet, but it's like something that
It grinds your gears.
grind your
Really
gears.
grinding my gears.
Grinding the gears is something we something that definitely goes off that. I was thinking, because you're a lesbian and because it's a
What?
long life. It's a
I
long
am?
you are.
Oh my God.
But you're not a meth kingpin. FBI, if you're listening, she's just a normal
Just a
greenlit
normal
lesbian,
gal.
a greenlit lesbian in a basement, being held not against her will.
That's right.
She's there willingly. She's not a meth
Yep.
slave.
I'm not
She could
tied
leave
to
at-
this chair right now.
She could leave at any point. Her dad does not slip her meals through that fake window behind her.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, because you're lesbian and because it's a long life for me too. Who knows what's gonna happen with me sexually? We
Yeah.
could call the segment Grindr, because grinds our gears.
Mm-hmm.
Grinder. It's
I actually
cute,
like that.
cute little thing that we could talk about at the end. So we'll see if we keep that name. But for now, we're gonna do the Grinder segment of things that
Yeah.
grind our gears.
Okay. Do you have one on your mind since you brought up the bit? It seems like you must have had something.
I do. This has been on my mind for a few weeks, actually.
Oh my God. It's been grinding those gears. Those
Yeah.
gears are fucking ground down to
Yeah.
smoothness.
It is a baby oil smooth circle at this
Oh
point.
my
No
God.
gears left. So a few weeks ago, I got in the elevator and I wasn't holding anything. I walked into the elevator and there's this other guy there, also already in the elevator. And it's just the normal elevator in my building. So I walk in and the guy says, "What floor?" And I didn't have anything in my hand, so I just said, "I got it," and I pressed my floor, and the door
Yes.
closed.
And
And
that
he sort of
are you talking about the elevator in your building?
in my building, yes.
So just to give the people reference, it's not a freight elevator. It's not a very big elevator. So
yeah,
I imagine it was very easy for you to reach the buttons.
very easy for me to reach the buttons. It's a normal size elevator. It's not an industrial elevator. Not that many buttons to push. This guy doesn't work as a
Except for
bellhop.
his.
Yeah, except for his. Yeah, I was pushing his buttons apparently. This guy does not work as a bellhop, so it wasn't his job. We don't have like a building bellhop. I'm not that rich. If more of you subscribe though, I will. Both of us will be living in buildings where we do have bellhops pressing all the buttons for us. But so I get in the elevator. This guy says, "What floor?" I say, "It's all right. I got it." I press my floor. He kind of gives me a look like I just wronged him by not giving him the pleasure of pressing the button. And I get up to my floor and that's that. Then a few days later, I have a package. It's a bigger package, so it takes up both of my hands. Mm-hmm. Same guy in the elevator.
Oh shit.
He doesn't say what floor.
Oh my God. He held on to that. Yeah. That's crazy.
He didn't fucking say what floor. And I looked at him for a second, and I took one of my hands off the package, so I was sort of balancing it on my knee. I was balancing the package on my knee.
Don't worry, I got it.
Yeah, it's pretty much what my facial expression said. Like, fuck you, you piece of shit. I'll press the button.
Yeah.
And, I pressed the button, got to my floor, and everything was fine. And because of that incident, I've now realized, because I've been tracking it, that there are a lot of people that when you get in an elevator and you're standing right next to the button and you could just fully press the button yourself, there are people that when you walk in, they'll just say what floor automatically, as if like people need help pressing elevator buttons that don't have anything in their hands.
It's just a polite kind of thing to do, right?
But I never say that.
I've said it, and I've said it in your elevator. Another girl walked in, and she lived there, and I said, "What floor?" And she goes, 4, and I pressed 4, and we went up together, and then I said, "Have a nice day," and she got off, and I kept going.
Well, then you grinder my gears, because
I did grinder your fucking gears.
You're grinding my fucking gears right now, because that is a thing that I think should be reserved if someone is incapable of pressing the elevator button, like as if they're holding a package.
They have hands.
Or they have no arms or hands. Yeah. And they can't kick the button. They
don't want to get too close with their nose,
I wouldn't want to be ableist. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I would see does the guy try to like kung fu kick the button first, right? Or like hip check the button without arms. But if someone holds a package, I always go, "Hey, what for?" And then I press it. But people will just like, I'm standing a lot of times like just as close to the buttons as they are. Uh-huh. So it makes this awkward interaction of them saying what for and me standing there. And if I say yes, I could have just done it anyway. I'm right there. And if I say no, I look like a dick because I'm just doing the normal action of pressing my elevator floor. So my take is that you shouldn't ask someone what floor on the elevator unless they're in a situation where they clearly need help pressing the elevator button.
I mean, I think you're kind of valid. I guess, was he standing on the side of the buttons though? Because your elevator also only has one. Some elevators have buttons on each side. Some only, it's one side of the elevator.
So he was standing on the side of the elevator buttons, but I was standing right next to him.
No, I know it's not a big elevator. So I know it's only arm's reach away.
So it's not like I leaned over when I said, "No, I got it," and had to like take a step and reach for the button. It was literally, "No, I got it." Boom. And we just went up to the 9th floor.
What was he on what floor was he on? Do you know? Is he below you somewhere?
3 or 4. Yeah, he already had his button pressed.
So now you have beef with one of your neighbors, essentially.
Someone in the building.
Because now he grinded your gears for asking, but you really grinded his gears for not just allowing him the simple courtesy, because he clearly remembered that shit. and purposely did not ask you and was just like, I'm just going to let him help himself.
But I also rejected his courtesy courteously. It's not like I
Yeah,
said,
it sounds
dude,
like
I don't
it.
need your fucking help, and then I just slammed
Or
the
just
butt
like
with my
stared at him,
He,
and yeah, you
he,
were nice about it. You were like,
yeah.
I got it.
He said, "What? Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. I got it." And I pressed 9, and then he got off, and then I went up and I got off. Yeah.
He wanted to be chivalrous to this
It.
to this man that he was seeing.
You know what it's kind of like? It's like people that hold the door for no reason. Like people that, let's say you're 30
They
yards
just
away
want to
from.
be thanked.
Exactly. Yeah. He wasn't doing it to be nice. He wasn't doing it to. What he didn't make my life any easier. He just wanted to have the satisfaction,
I guess,
of performing a courteous act, which is fine. If like doing good things for other people makes you feel good, that's part of the reason, why the world doesn't light on fire, because, people feel good doing things that are nice for other people. But make it something that isn't just me putting my finger forward 2 inches. Like it's like when people hold the door and I'm 30 yards away, it's like, yes, you're doing a nice thing for me.
Like, just go about your life. Move
but
on.
just do
Keep
what
walking.
you were doing. I'm not attached to you.
Yeah.
Just like let me do my thing. But it's another thing if like I was in a wheelchair, or like, I had packages in my hand and you hold the door, then it's like, yeah, of course, that's a nice thing, because I would have had to put down the package, would have had to open the door, then I have to like shimmy awkwardly through the door. But
that's so funny.
Yeah. That's my peeve. That's my grind.
No, that was good, and that was personal. I like that. I just thought of one like on the spot because it does annoy the fuck out of me, and it happens a lot. What really grinds my gears is when we're at the grocery store, which is it's like a focal point of gears being grinded at the grocery store, because there's so much happening, especially if you're not able to go to the grocery store on like a random weekday afternoon and you're there on the weekend. It's insane. It's madness. So what grinders my gears is when people double park the carts when you're going down the aisle. And I don't give a shit if it's a big cart or a little cart. You need to parallel park your cart in front of, if somebody's already there before you. If you're the only one in the aisle, you get to decide where you park your cart. But if you are going down the aisle and somebody already has their cart parked to the right, you need to parallel park your cart in front of their cart on the right. Do not stop and double park your fucking cart next to them so you can reach up and get your fucking pancake mix and then think about whatever else you need while I'm trying to haul ass down the aisle, okay? I got things to do. It's just basic common courtesy.
Yeah, there's no street cleaning in grocery store aisles. There's no reason to ever fucking double park your cart in a grocery store aisle.
Get out of the way. You are blocking the aisle.
Yeah.
Go away.
What makes it even worse is because this actually just happened to me. We went to Trader Joe's. And
it's crazy in there. You can't. Don't even park your cart. Okay, keep it moving.
Don't even bring a cart.
Don't even bring
yourself. Don't even bring yourself.
Yeah. Just bring a bag and run through and blindly grab things. That's basically what I do when I go to Trader Joe's.
and I think it's just amplified in the city because city grocery stores, like, there's less real estate. The aisles are very skinny. It's not like you're going to a big suburban Walmart, ShopRite.
Pause though, because I thought Trader Joe's. We know Trader Joe's is insane.
Yeah.
And so there's a Trader Joe's not actually near my house because my dad lives in the middle of nowhere. So there's nothing really near my house. Yeah. But the nearest big town, 20 minutes away, there's a Trader Joe's. And I went there to pick up some stuff. And I'm thinking, like, this is going to be such a better experience than New York, right? Obviously. I was so wrong. It was a nightmare, Zach, because they don't have, like, the small carts. You know, the carts that are, like, double stacked carts, and they're not, like, big, like old school shopping carts. So they only had, like, the old school shopping carts. And it was still so busy. as busy as a New York Trader Joe's, except it was like fucking bumper carts in there.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I went in, I actually got like 2 things because I couldn't even fit down the aisle because there were so many double parked carts and just so many fucking carts in general that it was like, we need to ban carts. You can't come in here with a cart because nobody can move.
You just reminded me of another peeve that also happened to me in Trader Joe's. People that wear noise canceling headphones when they fucking shop,
Well,
and
because
take
they're
up,
overstimulated.
but they take up the entire aisle
Because they don't know. They got their cart probably double fucking parked too.
and to go past them, you literally have to tap them on the shoulder and go, "Hey,
and then they probably
can
jump.
you fucking move to the side?" So I don't know. It's not the headphones I have a problem with, but if you're going to be wearing
the unawareness.
those, stay on the side. Pick a lane. Don't walk. It's like people that, it's a fucking tight sidewalk or, alleyway, whatever it is, shopping aisle. Like, if you have headphones on, be aware that there are people on the sidewalk besides you. I don't get people, like, I don't have the confidence to take up the most space possible with my body when I'm walking in public spaces. Like in Trader Joe's, I'm so self-conscious of, like, I don't even want to be 3 inches over to the left more than I have to with my cart in case someone has to go by, because I don't want to be the person that, like, runs someone else over or, like, knocks over a fucking stack of cauliflower gnocchi. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, let me just be a cog in the wheel.
It's an obstacle course. Yeah. I'm so I'm just bobbing and weaving my whole way through the store.
Yeah.
So let's just make it easier on everybody and parallel park your fucking cart, okay?
Yeah.
Leave an aisle of movement at all times.
And leave my fucking elevator buttons alone.
Don't ask Zach what fucking floor.
If you even say what, I swear
to
God.
Don't even start.
If the letters WH come out of your mouth and I'm not holding a package, I will treat you like Jeremy, what's his name? Grunner
Dufresne
treats a
Lana's
wild
man.
I will treat you like Lana's man treats a wild crocodile, and I will jump on you and start riding you and just
choke you out,
just choking you out from behind, watching the life slowly go out in your eyes like a wild crocodile that needs to be put down. If the syllables even come out of your mouth. So stay off of my fucking elevator buttons.
Oh my God.
If I have a package, I'll help you
listens.
out. I hope he does. I hope he's a premium subscriber. If I have a package, I'll help you out. If you have a package, I'll help you out. If you don't have arms, I'll wait a couple seconds just to see what is this guy going to do, and then I'll press the button. But other than that, you don't need it. Donate to somewhere if you want to feel courteous. Give someone a book. Do a kind act, but don't press my buttons for no reason. They're our buttons. That's why I don't need you pressing them, because we're in this together.
Yes.
So that's my grinder, my gears. And then the only other thing that grinders my gears, I was going to say, is Israel Hamas, but we can save that for
we'll open that can of worms another day.
That's really been annoying me. That's really been a pet peeve of mine. That whole thing going on.
Yeah, me too. Can't believe it.
I just hate those peeves. But yeah, this has been another wild episode of Breaking Takes. It feels good to be
back, even though we're like in a long distance relationship now.
We are, but
it's okay.
Things, they feel like they're on the rise. I feel like every time we get together and do an episode, it's more and more fun, whether we're in person, whether we're remote. I feel like our takes are they're slowly breaking into the, what do they call it? Like the moment where time and all the dimensions meet, like in a black hole, like the singularity.
The Matrix? I don't know. Where are we going?
Our takes are approaching the singularity.
Gotcha.
So
yes.
We only have up to go. I'm in my married life. You're in your single phase, which means we're gonna have a good back and forth of
it's gonna be fun now.
All the debauchery that's going on.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. and leave a comment on Instagram, TikTok.
Please leave so many comments on TikTok. Have a discussion. Open up a discussion.
If you press buttons on elevators for people, call me a piece of shit
and let me know.
You can press buttons on
your phone.
Yeah, press a button on your fucking phone inside the elevator
right.
and tell me you disagree, and then I'm a dumb idiot podcast host who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Which is largely correct, but I'm still gonna have a peeve about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Go to breakingtakes.supercast.com for bonus episodes. There should be another one coming out soon, which would be the 10th bonus episode up there. So we've got a lot of content up there in the backlog for you guys. breakingtakes.supercast.com. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets. Peace.